Welcome everybody to this morning's International Series session as part of the Ben's Knowledge Exchange. My name is Rachel Hewitt. I don't know if everyone knows me. I work for Healthcare Improvement Scotland, and I am thrilled today to introduce Sini Stolt, who is the leading expert of Barnahus Finland's national work. Sini has a master's degree in social science, and she has more than 20 years of work experience in different aspects of violence, so child protection, and then leading and developing work in social and healthcare field as well. So there are 5 Barnahus units in Finland, and they're developed by the National Barnahus Project. And Sini is the project leader for the National Institute for Health and Welfare. The Finnish Barnahus Project has developed work in different Barnahus rooms, and Sini is going to talk us through the work and the implementation at national level, and she'll go into some of the details of how their work is and what they've learnt. So I will, without further ado, hand over to Sini and look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Rachel. Nice to meet you, everyone, and greetings from Finland. As you can see, English is not my basic language. I speak Finnish, Swedish, and a little bit French and a little bit English. Hopefully you get correct words from my mouth today. I have the slides and I send it to Rachel, and you can ask if you want them after this session. So, as Rachel said, I'm working as a leading expert here in Finnish Institute for Health and Welfare. I thought that in the beginning, if I tell you something about how Finnish social and healthcare system works and how it's now grounded, and then where is our Barnahus units and what they do and how we developed the Barnahus work here in Finland, and then I come to the main subject. How is work in every Barnahus room going on today in Finland? And you can ask me questions, and if there is something I cannot answer today, I can send you answers later. Let's go then. I thought that we have today little difficulties here in Finland with all the Outlook email systems, some new certification. So that's why I thought that I won't start with this multimedia show, but you can watch this video after I sent the slides to you. This is in YouTube, a visit to Finnish Barnahus unit. This is from Helsinki unit. There is this little child girl who is visiting Barnahus, and she's telling everything what's going on there. She's now playing in the free time with the psychologist there. You can watch it later. And here is we have a lot of snow even now here in Finland. I was watching that has the rain covered everything, but we have snow here, and you can see from the Barnahus video that there is also it's made in the winter time, so it's plenty of snow there. But you can watch it later. It's about 4 minutes. And then if I tell you a little bit about our system in social and healthcare, in Finland we have more old people than children, and we are having difficulties with there is not enough children born, and we are estimated that this is 2070 estimation that we will have a lot more old people than future taxpayers here. So we have little problems with our structure in our welfare state. And that's why there was this renovation on our services. We built up 21 well-being service counties, and there is 5 kind of co-management areas. These co-management areas are here in these larger green, blue, light blue, grey, and another grey areas, and all of them have many well-being service counties. We are hoping to get hoping to spend less money on governance, and that's why this renovation was made. And there is plenty of areas, for example, here in Eastern Finland, where the population is getting very old and there is I cannot say not at all children, but very less children. So that's why we needed to have some bigger areas to create those services. These red dots here are our Barnahus units. As you can see, this northern Finland has only one Barnahus unit, and if you follow the conversation about how all the Barnahus units should be under the same roof, it's very difficult here in Finland to create because we have so much of distances here. For example, this northern Barnahus unit in Oulu area, there is hundreds of kilometers from the up north to this unit. So we have planned that way that all the professionals are moving to children more than children are carried out to units. But I can tell you more about that later. But here you can see how our system is now working. And I live here in the middle of Helsinki and Tampere. Here is my welfare county, Omahäme, Kanta-Hämeen hyvinvointialue in inner Finland. So I live kind of southern Finland here. And my workplace is in the Helsinki. I heard also that you are very interested what kind of statistics there is in the Finland and what kind of research results we have gotten. So I tried to add them to my show. Last year, police got over 15,000 notifications of violence and sex crimes towards children under 18 years old. And then about 15 to 20% of them are met yearly in the Barnahus units. And then also that from the statistics, you can see that only few children go to Barnahus in Finland. That's why we have to make all the forums working more together in those welfare county areas, because not every welfare county has a Barnahus units. I can show you from here that we have only 5 Barnahus units and 21 welfare counties. That's why it's very important that also children in those areas which don't have own Barnahus unit get the services. It's often asked from the Finnish presentations that why is everybody not going to Barnahus unit? But I try to explain it to you here, but you can ask me more questions if it's not clear after my presentation. And there is a police statistics continuing, minor victims of violence and sex crimes. There is a different years here is 21, 22 and 23. And here is kind of, because our police has different kind of areas than our welfare county areas are. I tried to put them together so they would be almost like our Barnahus units, but not really, because the metropolitan area, the southern Finland, is the biggest area if you count people living there. That's why there is so much more crimes than anywhere else, because there is the most people also. And then there is Eastern Finland. I was telling you about that there is not so many children anymore because the population is growing older. That's why we wonder why there is so many crimes against minor. And then there is this Oulu area. Oulu is one of the biggest cities in Finland, so I think here is Oulu area. I think that's the basic level. And this inner Finland is also having a big city called Tampere. So that's why there is lots of population, and that's why also the crimes go up. And then there is Turku area, which is difficult because there is a lot of people also like in inner Finland, but there is not so many crimes. Turku is maybe second biggest city in the Finland. And then there is the little red box. It's called Lapland. It's the northern Finland I showed earlier in the map. It was up north there. there is fewest people in Finland. There is Santa Claus and his reindeers living there in Lapland. And here is some statistics about child protection announcement data and compared with police minor victim data and the forensic psychology, our Barnahus units data together. The highest part here is an announcement made to child protection services. In all cases, it's not just violence. We have estimated that about 40% of the cases have some issues with violence at home. So it would be here, somewhere here, the child protection data. We don't have to report in Finland from every cases to police, but we have very low level how professionals should make an announcement to child protection services. And if there is going to be 2 years or more prison time, we have to also make announcement to police. So that's why these child protection numbers are so much higher. But in the violence cases, they are not this high. It's not so much. And there was also that announcement are made from the same children, many times from the same children. So it can be if there is a family with a 5-year-old who is in the kindergarten, they can make announcement to child protection services. And then if there is also bigger sister or brother in the school, they can make announcement. And also if there's a healthcare professional working with the family, she or he can make announcement. So it can be 2 times from the same children. If you look at this like that, there is 110,000 different child about. So it's maybe 2 times more than that, the real amount. And then there is this green one, is the police data I was telling you about. And then there is this Barnahus units, like forensic psychology units data. So almost every children, I think all the children who visited Barnahus are also customers of the child protection services, and many of them also see police in some part of the process. And this is one thing people are usually interested of, that how many days or average time there is, how long time forensic psychology units are working with children in Finland. And in Finland, you get to Barnahus units after police makes a request. No one else can do that under our current law. So when the police makes the request, these are days to, after how many days they organized first meeting. The green one is our southern area, our biggest amount of population area. And then there is Turku area, Tampere area, Kuopio, this is Eastern Finland, and this is the North area, Oulu area. So days to first meeting is going from Tampere areas maybe 3 days to Helsinki areas maybe 15 days. And then if you compare days to first interview, you can see that the Helsinki area is the quickest. And then if you look the Oulu numbers, there is almost 3 months after you can organize the first interview. It's take far too long time. And we have asked what are the difficulties in Oulu area, because you can see days to last interview that it's double than anywhere else in Oulu area. And they said that they have difficulties to get qualified workers there, social workers and psychologists. and that's why, and doctors, that's why they have so long time. But if you think children who is living in the different parts of the Finland, you can see it that the northern part of children in the northern part of the Finland are not in the same level as all the other children. I think this variation is like okay standards, but this is too much if it's double timed. And we know these are numbers from 2022 year, and we know that, for example, in Turku area there was this over 200 children case on the online sexual abuse. So it doesn't explain how Oulu has this. There is not so many big cases. That it doesn't explain that. Here I have again this. We are continuing to explaining how this Finnish system is working. If these yellow ones are all the announcement made to police, and then there is this little blue one of children who visit the Barnahus units, and then there is this violet purple. Is it in English purple? Those cases which are LASTA screened. I know that we are only ones who do this LASTA screening, so I explain it to you later. But you can see that this is one way how we work together to evaluate and make a risk assessment to those children who visit police, that should they go to the Barnahus unit, or is there some other services who can help? Here is a little history about Finland, how we have been built up this way. I've been working only now 2 years about here in Barnahus, leader of Finland, so that's why I don't know all the history. Taina Laajasalo, our professor, is very good in telling this. If you want to know more, you can contact Taina also. She's not working in our project anymore, but she's working in the same workplace as I do. But the forensic psychology units for children and adolescents, our Barnahus units, were established in 2001. They get 100% funding from our Ministry of Social Affairs and Health. And then this funding is managed locally by regional state administrative agencies. This is telling little bit background for why we need a new law, because all those local regional state administrative agencies have decided to build up those units differently. That's why they have different kind of services in every area. For example, there is medical services in the Tampere and in the Kuopio, but there is not in the Oulu, Turku and Helsinki. And that's why children are in different positions in everywhere in Finland. And then the legislation, we call it governed by the Organization Act. It was made in 2009, and one good thing there was it was ensuring extensive rights to information for staff in these Barnahus units. And now we have to make this law answering more today's questions. I tell you about it later. But from this picture, I hope you get that we don't have now, under this current law, we don't have any coordination nationally. We have funding nationally, and it's managed locally. So that's our problem in this funding system. And then in 2014, there was this LASTA project was born in our National Institute of Health and Welfare. There is the health has gone somewhere. It was made to pilot a work like a Barnahus through networking. There is this structure and research-based risk assessment form I present you that later. And there is also this multi-professional meeting where people meet and they discuss the matters of the child if there's suspecting a crime. It was implemented in Turku region, where it's still working very highly and it's very appreciated there. And also it's now, I can show you later, but it's almost all over the Finland now in use. And this is still a big part of our Barnahus work, and this is a big part why we should have a new law, because there is this multi-professional meetings and we don't have a clear law how we can share the information in the multi-professional meetings. And then there was this discussion about it takes too long for children to get services. And for example, we don't have enough trauma-informed services. So they launched a Barnahus project in 2019 to get the whole Barnahus house more to use and diminishing under delays in criminal process. There was the part when the police and prosecutors came also in. We have with us working social services, mostly child protection services or family social work, police organization, locally and nationally, prosecutor services in local and national level, healthcare services in local level and also in national level, university as our scientific companions making research, and also NGOs who produce lots of violence services in Finland. In the project, we try to have effective interventions to support children victims and their families for everyone in need, not just those children who visit Barnahus units. So that's why we needed to put it more local level. And also this collaboration, we wanted to make it as a norm in every case, not just those who visit Barnahus unit. So we have been coming out from the Barnahus house to show in the local area how this should be done. Here is our goals. Our last year is now beginning soon. We are hoping to get permanent funding after those project years. But we develop support and treatment coordination, ensure child-friendly legal encounters and also places where children visit. For example, in Finland, police do the most of the hearings, so we have been making more child-friendly places to our police stations. Enhance interprofessional cooperation, that's I think the main thing in our process, and also reduce delays in the criminal process. I'm telling you how this LASTA screening model has been helping us here, and also create and disseminate e-learning programs which are free to use. I put those which are in English, I put them later on if you want to check what kind of national e-learning programs we have. And now what we are doing in the last project year, we are updating national trainings and we are making this permanent supervision models also nationally and local level, and in cooperation with all the wellbeing service counties. Not all of them has been part of our projects this year, and we are hoping to get them be our members next year, and we are hoping to get them involved because the new law is going to put them to be with us, work in our way. We are hoping to get them before the law comes up. And we are also making these legislative preparations. Now I'm jumping a little bit to the law thing. There is lots of background work made, and you can read from them this when you get the slides. But we got the funding from Council of Europe to make these reports and analysis, and what kind of difficulties there is in Finland and how we should answer to them. But these are the themes that why we need this new law. As I've been telling, the children don't have the same services or the rights to services in all over the Finland. We are putting them in the same level. That's why we need the national coordination, and we need to make multi-professional work obligatory. Not like I can decide, do I work with another people, not in another professions or not. So we needed to make it. We think that there is not any professional who is solving the violence cases by themselves. And also we need to have a clear law based on information exchanging in multi-professional work. We have now this situation that there is one police area which is reading the law in a different way than all other Finland, and we cannot force them to read it our way because it's not that clear enough. For example, they are saying that child protection social worker cannot join to the meetings where they are preparing the hearings of the child, for example. And we cannot say that the law is like this, you need to follow it. They can, it's not that clear in this moment. We are a little bit on the gray area, we think. And then this LASTA screening, we have this model. It's basic model, but all are not using it as the same way. So we need to have these core components, which everybody should share, and then they can add their own components if they want. We are now making the LASTA process more fluent and trying to find those core components. And then this national guidance, we are hoping to get to our work to continue also, but there will be some kind of national guidance party anyway. And then also the finance should be based on better reports and also the quality of the work, not just numbers. And then there is not in the law that the units, the Barnahus units, need to consult and educate all the other professionals. We wanted to base that also based the law, because the funding goes quite much to consulting and educating others. So here is our Barnahus house. We think the ground here is expertise of the professionals, and the heart, warming heart, the fireplace of the whole house is a multidisciplinary cooperation. And key to this house is report to the police or report to child protection services. And I jumped. And then this is our pretrial investigation and interviewing of the child room, physical health room, protecting the child room, and psychological support room. I'm going to show you some examples about what we have been developing in this room nationally. And then I have also slides I can leave to you, as you can check from then what room you are mostly interested of, and you can, and there is also contact emails where you can ask more after you read the presentation. But this is the LASTA model I've been telling you many times already. It's called like a Kidimarak. It's a well-structured and research-based tool. So we can make a decision how this should continue, how the child's case should continue. And there is also collecting the data from the healthcare services and the social services. And after that, police and the prosecutor put their own data also, and they have a meeting and they think that what's the best for the child. And we think that not all children are or need to be referred in the Barnahus units. so they can be helped in the more basic level of nearby their own homes in the welfare counties. And there is also one research published last year. I will tell you some results of that later. But this is how I saw you earlier, our social and healthcare services, how they are here in Finland. But here is our police areas, how they are in Finland. And these yellow green dots are police stations, which have child investigation teams. And all the green ones use this LASTA model. We say it's fully in use if there is both healthcare information and child protection information, social work information. And then there is those yellow ones. When there is a LASTA model partly in use, they don't use healthcare information in Ahvenanmaa, in the eastern Finland. And we are hoping to get this Raahe area and Lappi area started in up north. I jumped from. And here is how this goes. If the case comes to the police, first they check up the preliminary information. Is this so clear that it goes to pre-trial investigation directly? Or is this case where it's not enough stuff, or there is no crime or reason to suspect crime? They deal those cases first away from the amount of the cases. And then some of them they send to the LASTA screening. So the LASTA coordinator is collecting the background information, and then there will be, after this information is collected, there will be this LASTA meeting, this multi-professional meeting, who decides what to do next. Police takes answer about this and calling it up. And there is child protection services, prosecutors, healthcare services, and also police at place. And they make this decision together. Even it's prosecutor and police who make the final decision, but they think it multi-professionally. Are they closing the case? Is it going to be like social services or healthcare services take care of the family or the child? Is it going to pre-trial investigation, or what they are going to do with it? And then if it continues to pre-trial investigation, they make this, they contact everybody, and then it's going to go to prosecution, court trial, and then conviction some point. It takes, we think it's about 2 or 3 years in Finland. If you think all this goes through from 1 to 7, it takes too long time. But if it's very, very hard case or very public case, it can go faster. And here is the LASTA screening mapping form. I think it's in so little pointed that there is difficult to read, but there is this police arrest number, what kind of crime number there is, who made this report to police, what's the child name, ID number of the child, what age the child is now, what gender, and what kind of suspected offense there is there need to be somatic examination acutely under 7 days, or is there a sexual abuse, so they need to examine the child in 72 hours, less than 72 hours, or is it not urgent, and they can, for example, make the somatic examination under 7 days. And then there is they collect the data from who is the child living with, what kind of family, is there daycare, kindergarten, school, what's the mother tongue, what nationality, and then what kind of services the family or the child has been using. And there is this yes or no box, and then there is this further information. So you can check very quickly yes or no boxes, and if there is some examinations, for example, made, the police can contact them. And this is the research results what came back, that we have too many local differences in the using of this model, and we are now finding those core components. And then also we have this model anyway helped that the duration of the pretrial investigation was shorter, and also it was very helpful. All the professional answered that it made their work more easier, and they could rely more to their decisions because it was made multi-professionally. And also it promotes high quality data collection, and this is a making and support those consideration of the child best interest. And this is one thing, the child best interest, it has been, we have been talking a lot about this in Finland, what's in every case the child best interest. And now I jump to another room. I jump to the child protection room. I take this quickly, and then we can have time for questions. We have been modifying this. I think that all you know this interview protocol. We have been modifying it to child protection services because there wasn't no evidence-based tool how child protection services interview the child. And we thought that we need to have some evidence-based tool we can implement to all Finland. And we needed to modify it because time research in child protection services is different than in police, and also they don't want to find out exactly who did what did. They want to look the future in the child protection services. Is there unsafe at home? What kind of relationship there is with the parents? Do we need some emergency services? Can the child go home after interviewing? Like this. And then we made this interviewing children in child protection online school. And to support this, they have also those meeting with our Barnahus units. After they look the interviewing children in child protection, they visit Barnahus units, which look the quality of the Barnahus units evaluate the quality the interviews the social workers has been making. And we are hoping this could strengthen hypothesis thinking. We are having a research going on about this. And also we hope that the child wouldn't be interviewed repeatedly so many times, but sometimes it's not, because our police investigations take so long time. Child protection services need to work more rapidly. But the child participation is, we think it's many ways better if we use this model. And also Mia, who was making this, contact the Swedish partners in Socialstyrelsen from Sweden. And this is our this child welfare online school interviewing a child, and there is what kind of sections there is, and additional information also. We are only made this in this time in Finnish, but you can check if you want what kind of pictures there is, and you can contact my colleague Mia Stolberg if you want to know more. And then for all who are making interviews, we have made this with support of Council of Europe. This you can train forensic interviewing, and you can also train with avatar it's coming up to our website. It's from the Shanghai University who made this with the support of Council of Europe, and we are hoping to get it soon to our website. And all the other stuff I have here, you can look from some examples of our national develop what we have done in specific rooms. I jumped these that you can learn from them, but I show you there is contacts, and there is also English website, but here is our contacts. If you want child protection services, there is Mia, and police is Sara, and prosecutors are Pia and Yrjö. And then if you don't know who you should contact, you can contact me. But here is my presentation, and now I hope that we have time for some questions.